What's up, everybody? My name is Jordan with Jordan Ring Photography, and today we are going to be talking about my favorite Sony full-frame E-mount lenses that aren't made by Sony. So if you have followed me before, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and smash that notification bell. So here we go. So my favorite lenses that I go to are these three lenses. These are all non-Sony lenses, but they are fully compatible with the Sony full-frame E-mount. And they're also compatible with the APS-C bodies as well. So the first one I want to talk about is the Samyang 85 1.4. This lens, it is, for the money, it's incredible. I want to say it was around like 500 to 550 bucks. And this lens is so good because at f1.4, you could really just blur out that background, create a lot of nice bokeh. And, you know, the comparable lens to that would be like a G Master 85 1.4, and that lens is going to be, you know, 1,500 bucks or so. I would have to double check. But this lens, sure, it doesn't maybe look the best. It is a metal frame, and the focus ring, yeah, it's smooth. It's not buttery smooth like a G Master, but it really does the job. And again, f1.4, which is something that they talk about, it's shooting wide open. That's going to allow the maximum amount of light in. So with that, you can keep your ISO down so you don't have as much noise, and you can just play around with the shutter depending on, you know, how much light is in the you know, wherever you're located. Okay, so now moving on to the 35mm Samyang. This is also an f1.4. This lens, also a metal construction, pretty smooth focus. And the Sony lenses, they normally have a bunch of buttons. These are very bare bones, very basic. It has a nice petal hood. And then you can see what the inside of this looks like right here. Perfect. This is a 67mm thread. And that's good to know if you want to put any polarizers or ND filters on, anything of that nature. My next go-to lens would be the Tamron 70-180. And this lens is a little bit beefier, as you can see. Again, a nice petal hood. This one does go down to f2.8, unlike the original GF4 by Sony. That one's also 70-200, so you get a little bit of extra reach. But I haven't really found that I've needed that extra 20mm. It still works perfectly. And for the price compared to the Sony, I would definitely go with this one. Now, if you do need the Sony G Master f2.8, there is a big price difference. That one's around $2,000 to $2,400, and this one I think I picked up for like $800 or $900. This one does have a lock button, as you can see here, so that way the zoom cannot creep. And then also, if you have it in your bag, it's not going to be opening and closing. So that's a nice little feature. The focus ring's pretty smooth. Yeah, it's not too bad. Now, I would show you the other lens, the Tamron 17-28mm f2.8, but that's what we are filming this video on. So I'll have to show you that later. So let me just go over some of the applications of what I like to shoot with these lenses. So let's just start with the 85 1.4. The 85 1.4, I think, is an awesome headshot lens. You really can't go wrong with that. A lot of people like to have the background blurred out, and that creates some separation from the subject to the background. And then if you have like some lights twinkling in the background, I'll show you an example. You can get some of like those nice bokeh balls. Bokeh, apple, tomato. That is just going to, you know, create some more life in the photo and just bring like some more stylistic natures to the photo. So it's totally up to you what you want to do, but really being able to crush that background and separate the subject from the background does add a lot of value to the photo. So some things that you would be using this 85 for would be headshots, portraits. You can use it for night photography. I've used it at several events, especially when I want to just get a little bit creative. Just note that you're going to be moving further back from the subject because it's at 85. You know what it's like when you're using an 85. And then, yeah, that's pretty much it. Maybe one other thing that I've used it for is like behind the scenes if I'm working on films or sets. So that really allows you to keep at a distance, again, shoot in low light, because usually with cinema, something that's cinematic, there's less light available. And another reason why I like the Sony is because you can shoot in silent mode. So, you know, you should try that out. It's pretty awesome. You don't have to do like an old-fashioned big box around the camera to quiet it down. So there's some advantages here. Now, speaking of the Samyang 35mm f1.4, this lens is just very versatile. You could use it, again, for events. You can use it in low light. You can use it at bars, concerts. You can use it for portraits. You can use it for a landscape if you want. There's just really so many uses for this lens. And I just find myself going back and forth between these lenses, especially during all these different scenarios. And then moving on to the 70 to 200 Tamron f2.8, this lens is just awesome when it comes to headshots and portraits. I really love using this lens because kind of like the 1.4 where you can really blur out or crush the background, I think this does it even better. So at 200mm, you're going to create this separation and create this really beautiful blur to the background. It's almost like a painting. And I really love that. You can't really get that off of the 85. So I think if you want to stylistically just melt that background and create this kind of compression, it's one of those things you have to see. I'll give you an example. I would highly recommend shooting those headshots or portraits at the higher focal length, like a 200. In this case, the 180. It's just awesome. All the headshot photographers that I know, they really enjoy using a 70 to 200 or 70 to 180. And again, you can use it for portrait, but again, if you're going to be shooting the entire body in the photo, you're going to have to back up really far. Really far. And then at that point, it makes it kind of hard to communicate with your subject. So sports, wildlife, yeah, events, products, behind the scenes stuff. There's just a ton of use cases for this kind of lens. So if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment and I will try and get back to you as easily as possible or as quick as possible. And then also don't forget to download my PDF down below. Right there you can see other lenses made for Sony that are not made by Sony. So take a look. Again, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and smash that notification bell. There will be plenty of other videos coming out soon. All right, guys, take care. Have a great day.